Don't think this is just another self-help podcast. It's not.
Well, what is it?
It's still a hot mess, where we ask the question, is self-help helping?
Every episode, we discuss, debate, and sometimes diss an aspect of the self-improvement movement.
We want to know, is it all too much? Has it gone too far? Is it making us even more neurotic? Is this self-help or self-help?
You make a mess of me.
All right, you know what?
What?
I would like to start with Name That Guru today.
Oh, okay.
I know like it kind of switches things up, but
Okay, I've got
Is that
my
okay?
I've got my quotes ready.
you can do them, or like I've got three that I really want to slam at you here.
Okay, so
Yeah.
All right, you start with your three quotes. Then.
I'm going to start with my three quotes.
Okay, sure. Let's do that.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's do
Okay,
that.
so you tell me if you know who this guru is. Okay,
Yes.
because I'm going to
gonna-
follow the rules this time, and I'm going to stick to self-help author quotes.
Oh my God.
I know.
This is a big day.
It is. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Okay, so here I am, going to try to guess who the hell said it.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Being big while also being small is an impossible task for anyone.
Oh God. Ugh. That sounds like so basic.
It's pretty basic.
You know,
All right.
like that sounds like, I don't know, Dr. Phil.
Oh, no, it is not Dr. Phil. Funny though. Do you want me to tell you who it is?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Rachel Hollis.
Oh God.
Okay. Ready for the next one? You ready for the next one?
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Here we
yeah,
go.
Okay.
Your subconscious knows that you, yourself, cannot be trusted after breaking so many plans and giving up on so many goals to yourself.
Oh, that's totally Tony Robbins.
No, it's totally not Tony Robbins.
That's not Tony Robbins?
No, you want to know who it is?
Sure do.
It's Rachel Hollis.
Oh, God. Two Rachel Hollis quotes?
I hit you
What
twice
are you doing
there.
to me?
I know. And you came in happy today. Okay, I've got one more.
Okay, all
Okay,
right.
and then
yeah,
here we go.
all right,
Yeah, I know, we're
okay.
switching the rules. Here we go. You have to choose not to compare. You have to choose not to compare.
I don't know. God. All right. That, Susan Powder.
Oh, that would be so funny if that was like, it'd be like, you have to choose not to compare.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it
you would. Yeah, that's
be
true.
yelled at
You. Yeah, it definitely would have been.
Yeah, no,
spoken.
no, it's not Susan Powder. You want to know who it is though?
Oh God. It's Rachel.
You guessed it.
3 Rachel Hollis quotes
In a row.
Wow.
Okay, so we started with a little twist today with doing our Name That Guru, kind of completely changed the rules. But we are talking about someone today.
Yes.
And so that was why I chose to lead with the Rachel Hollis quotes.
I wonder if the listeners are on the edge of their seats right now,
Do you
wondering
think-
who we're going to
do you
talk
think they
about.
know?
This is
The Rachel Hollis Show.
ding, 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 ding.
Well, no, we can't
yeah.
say that because it's not. It's roasting Rachel, maybe.
Maybe a little bit of roasting, maybe a lot of roasting.
Well,
Well,
we'll
anyway, yes, we have decided to dedicate this episode to Rachel. Rachel, who would, I think, be considered one of the, I don't know, big deals in self-help right now.
Let's start with this. She's a keynote speaker.
Yes.
She's owner and CEO of the Hollis Company. She is an entrepreneur. She's founder of Rise Conferences.
Yeah.
She's a mother of 4. She is author of the New York Times bestseller, Girl, Wash Your Face.
That's such a fun title.
And if you want to hear what she says as an introduction to herself on her Facebook page,
Oh, yes.
it's, hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a working mama of 3 boys and a baby girl. I write books and speak on stages, and I never met a cheese-based dip I didn't love.
Aww.
I love to eat and cook and read and chat. We just moved to Texas. Let's be friends.
Well, you know, she does like to think of everyone as her friend.
That's very nice.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed in Girl Wash Your Face, she talks to the reader like it's a room full of friends. I don't know if you noticed how many times she would start or end a sentence saying, "You guys."
Oh, I got
You guys.
a lot of the you guys in there. Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
so many you guys.
Do you want to give more of a history on who Rachel is for our listeners?
Yeah, just in case you don't know this woman, here's a little rundown of what brought her to this lofty place that we see before us today. All right, so she's a daughter of a Pentecostal preacher. Rachel graduated high school and then moved to Los Angeles, where she landed a job at Miramax. Now, while working at Miramax, she met her husband, Dave Hollis. She was 19. And
what does Dave do?
At that point, Dave was an executive at Disney.
Got it.
Okay, so she was 19 and he was 27. Mm-hmm. They married 2 years later. Oh. Okay. All right, so then a few years later, Rachel founded a high-end luxury event planning firm called Chic Events. Her event planning business branched out to include a lifestyle website and blog under the name of Chic Media. In 2013, Rachel founded the Hollis Company and assumed the role of CEO. Her breakthrough moment on social media came in March 2015 when she posted an Instagram photo of her celebrating her stretch marks, and it went viral. It garnered more than 10 million views. In 2017, Rachel started touring with her Rise conferences and eventually her marriage-centric Rise Together conferences featuring herself and her husband, Dave.
That's cute.
With Rachel's books, conferences, and online presence fame gaining momentum and Hollis growing exponentially, Dave, her husband Dave, left his film distribution chief position at Disney in 2018 and took over as CEO of Hollis Company. And Rachel demoted herself to the role of COO, Chief Operating Officer.
She's back to CE. She's CEO now.
Oh, yeah, she is, because since their recent split.
Oh,
Trouble.
Happens to the best of us.
Since their recent split, Rachel has resumed her role as CEO.
Good. Well, this girl has some drive.
She sure does.
Yes, she does.
Wow. That's
this woman. I guess she's a woman. When I was reading her book, I thought, is this written by a 16-year-old? And I was like, no, she's actually like 35, I think. Was she 35 when she wrote that?
Let's see. She's 37 right now. So I actually would put her like in early 30s.
Okay. It kind of felt like that, but I don't want to jump the gun on the book.
Every time you read, you guys.
Yeah, there were times where I was like, oh, but anyway, it's been an interesting couple of weeks preparing to have a talk about Rachel.
Yes, I'm actually really, really glad that we're finally here at the Pod Plant doing this episode because I'm done. I'm done with Rach.
I mean, you get passionate about stuff and you get lit, but I don't mean just on vodka, but
right.
No, you have been pretty fired up about this.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I guess I'll preface all of my comments today about Rachel as a self-help writer, motivational speaker, and podcaster because I am those things and have a very different approach and philosophy than her. I don't believe in ramming stuff down people's throats and helping people change their life. And she does. In fact, she is everything I have consciously chosen not to be as an author and a speaker. So if you see me over here,
we get the vibe. We're catching it.
Getting worked up. If there's a little
denying.
If there's a little foam coming out of my mouth or steam coming out of my ears, you'll know why. So yeah. I thought it was best to kind of say that if I think it's good to know that's where I come from. But yeah,
it's clear.
I'm glad it is over too. I'm done consuming.
Okay, good.
Rachel.
Good. I mean, it's been an interesting time for me. And in fact, when I've had very brief conversations with you about her, just when we've been, talking about the episode coming up, I too have, become a little heated, but I find generally, I sort of diving into her stuff had the opposite effect on me. So I think you were expecting me to not like her and to have like negative things to say about her. But the opposite is actually true. I found it more difficult to criticize her specifically than it was to look at all speakers and gurus of this kind who claim to be able to tell you how to live your best life. So for me, she just became sort of all of the same noise. And it really had me thinking of the entire industry again. You know how I feel when we talk about self-help books, and it's the ones that say, this is how I did it, and so maybe you can too. Like, fine, but that's, I think, the memoir section, as I've said. So I would like to say, before we really get started, that I think society has created this, has created the opportunity for people like this to tell you how to do it. And we want to be told. So I think the problem is on us. And so I do have things to say about her, but this is the approach. This is where I'm coming from today.
I will agree with you in that sentiment that it actually is a disturbing, I will say that, a disturbing reflection on the psyche, the mindset of what we just call it, the audience, the consumers.
The audience, the viewers, the consumers, they are creating the demand.
Yeah.
People want to know how to do and have it all because we're drowning, I guess. We're saying, or we're in a society where we actually have an opportunity to do that and say, you know what, my life could be even better. So any which way you slice it, I mean, these people are here and they're not going anywhere.
I think it's an interesting reflection to follow this particular guru. They call her the Tony Robbins, the female Tony Robbins.
Someone else you love.
Yeah. And when I read that, and she does speak of loving Tony Robbins, attending his conferences. And so I see that particular audience almost like I don't know, it's culty.
Okay.
And I'm concerned that they're hanging on every word.
Right.
But anyway, it's big. We've both seen footage of the Rise conferences.
Yep.
It's magnificent in the true sense of the word. It's huge. It's a spectacle.
Yeah. It's a marketing machine.
Yeah. And
it's a Garth Brooks concert.
It's true. There's lights and dancing around and music booming and
it's feel good stuff.
It is. I'm concerned that there isn't enough,
I think,
discernment. But anyway.
Okay. I think the approach today, if I could, would be, for me, like the question would be, is someone claiming to be an expert? And are they? And are they practicing what they preach?
Yeah.
So 2 things about Rachel.
Yep.
One is she seems to be an expert in everything.
She
which
sure does.
Is part of my, if I were to say something, I'd say, geez, this girl just seems to know everything. And when I was reading the book, I thought, this book should just be called Ask Me Something I Don't Know.
Yeah.
Because literally she knows everything about everything. And practicing what they preach. In terms of Rachel, she is a preacher's daughter.
Yeah.
And I am hearing the sermons. I hear how they are created, designed, structured like sermons.
Sure.
I'm totally getting it. So more on that as we go through, but that's what happened for me. I was like, I'm listening to a sermon.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but when I hear a sermon or I hear someone preaching, I think, is it kind of like do as I say, don't do as I do?
Well, is
kind of thing.
You tell me.
I don't know. Anyway, should we play a little short clip of Rach?
Yes, you go for it.
Just to give the listeners a little taste, in case you don't know, who the heck we're talking about.
Yeah.
Here is a YouTube clip. It's called "Take Control of Your Life."
Okay, don't tell me what to do.
Wake up. It's a new day. It's a new week. And if you choose it, it's a new life. You get to decide right now who you want to be. You get to choose in this moment how you want to show up in the world.
Believe that you're worth it. Believe that you can. Believe that you're
Is she crying?
capable of whatever you set your
Is she
mind
crying?
She's getting emotional, that's for sure.
With the best version of
She's
you
moving
for that
herself.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah.
Waking
That's
up
how good she is,
Yeah.
Fanson.
That's what it sinks in.
using that
That
time
emotional
towards
felt
your goal,
experience.
You have time. You're just spending it doing something else. Success is about choosing between what you want now and and what you want most.
Imagine it in detail. See
Okay,
yourself
do we
eating
have
the way
to?
the best version of you
Are we
will.
almost done?
Staying hydrated.
If you are not taking
Oh my
care
gosh, she
of
reminds me of my
your
cheerleading captain.
body, there is a 0% chance that you're going to become the version of yourself you want to be.
Working out, dressing, speaking
You
to
have a
others,
0%
looking for blessings.
of
Well,
being
no, 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 but
successful if
she's
you don't
saying
take care of yourself.
If you shoot for nothing,
Yeah.
you'll get nothing, and if you don't take care of you, then
Yeah.
you're disadvantaged to.
I do find she
achieving
uses
success.
extremes to freak people out into to getting their shit together.
There are some people who would say people need extremes.
Propel yourself
Yeah.
to the future.
So
You need to own what you do. You need to own what you
I'm
do.
almost done listening.
Yeah, no, I just find it interesting that she basically is a human bumper sticker.
Cannot be the
Just
person
little
you
sound
wanna be
bites,
right
little
now.
slogans.
In this second,
Smart.
Right now, if you can't make
So
the decision
smart.
right now, in this moment, you don't have a why that's strong enough. And if you don't have a why that's strong enough right now, you won't have a why that's strong enough on Monday. If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. Don't leave today's version of you to a random chance. Choose who you want to be.
All right.
Choose
Yeah.
how
You've had enough?
I really, really have. Sorry.
Well,
everybody.
after the last couple of weeks of preparing for this episode, we've definitely had enough.
Yeah,
But hopefully
I mean,
that gives
look, and it's not like I've had enough of her.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes I just don't need to listen to that stuff. But I think Rachel has done a lot of research.
Oh, geez.
It's all right. Is that Donald Trump? Who's that?
I don't know. There was just something on YouTube. That,
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to put my
Just
phone down
people
now.
who irritate us today. I think Rachel has done a lot of research, and I think she's read a lot of books, and I
Yep.
think she's done her share of the work, and I think she's organized it all in a way to be able to preach the message. There's nothing original about what Rachel's saying.
There's really nothing original
You could
about
do
any
it. I
self-help
could do
book.
it.
Yep.
It reminds me that this stuff is not rocket science. The
Yep.
messages have been around forever. You just have to compile them, put them in a book, shoot them out of your face. And I congratulate her.
Mm-hmm.
I congratulate her. Like these things, they get rebranded. There's occasionally an original thought or technique or practice, but generally speaking, none of it is new.
No, I think in a way these women, because her fan base is definitely women. In fact, in her book, she'll say, ladies, girls. And so I think women are excited that they're seeing a Tony Robbins with good highlights and expensive skinny jeans on. Like, I think they're just saying, oh, this one's our girl. Like it's still the same stuff. You're right.
Oh,
and
it's
great
like-
packaging.
Yeah.
Marketing. She's just got a very
She's just the one
powerful
that did
brand.
it. She did it. She's smart. She's got the right people behind her. She got some money behind her.
Sure she
certainly.
does.
and I think that a lot of those factors. She's cute. She's
Sure.
little.
Yep.
She's got a clear voice. It's a little
Little
irritating. But she is a preacher's daughter, so she grew up hearing these sermons and knowing how to create them.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can't listen to Rachel and think, my God, this woman is a genius. How did she come to know all of this? It's really available. Anybody could do it. Start speaking, get a following. But sometimes she sounds like a 16-year-old to me.
Well, she is still young. I mean,
Well, she's almost 40.
yeah, but I'd say really in your 30s, you were different. Like, yeah, she's young.
She has monopolized on an opportunity.
Yep.
And people who do what she does and are succeeding in the way they are, there is a demand for it.
Yep.
And they are showing up. And I don't know if they're all practicing what they preach. Again, that would be, I think, important to me. I think. But then the message is just the message. And people want the message. They want to be told how to do it. And so I feel like it's really seizing an opportunity, and that's smart.
Yeah, I mean, I think years ago she started blogging, and then of course it grew into more of like a website, a lifestyle website. And I think she was just getting contacted, I don't know, through the social media, email, whatever, with women saying, "How do you do it all?" And God, I want to be more like you. Share your secrets. And then I really think she went, well.
I know how to
what
do this.
What do we got here?
Yeah.
These women want yeah, they want to learn from me. They, I think I could be a leader.
Sure.
Yeah. And so here we are.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. This is a driven, clever, energetic, ambitious woman who has succeeded at a level that many don't. So no, that does not fall away from me.
Right.
Is that what's the phrase there when you say that? It doesn't.
It rolls off your back. No.
I don't know.
What?
Basically, yes. Kudos to her. I acknowledge that. That is.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
Yep. So shall we kind of talk a little bit about Girl Wash Your Face? We'll just talk about the book because we both read that one.
We can.
Is that what you want to do right now? Is that?
Yeah, I was going to say that I do want to say this also though. I don't disagree with anything she's saying. I can't find fault in it. I might have a problem with self-help.
Yeah.
And I think it's a selfish endeavor.
Yeah.
But we're looking to focus on self. So, okay. It's
Yeah.
fine. But I don't disagree with it because she's learned, she uses what she learns very well.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff is out there. And she's just delivering the message. She covers all aspects of everything.
Yes, you're right. I mean, everything. There was a little bit of like manifestation stuff in there.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Motherhood.
Of course, health and wellness.
Yeah.
Yeah. She covered all
everything.
the basic areas of a woman's life.
Right. And she does mention that she doesn't have a college diploma.
Yeah.
Her passion is for helping others. And I honestly, I have no problem with any of that. The question for me is just, does she walk the walk? And if she doesn't, then I have to ask myself, how important is it that she walk the walk, or is it simply the message, as I said? So let's talk about the book
And I'll just say right now that I agree with you that what she says in her books, they're valid comments, they're valid ideas. There's really powerful messages. Really when it comes down to content, there's lots of good stuff. Where my criticism is in the approach, her tone, her way. So it's almost like there's two separate issues here. Listen, there were times where I was like, oh, good point, girl. And then I washed my face. I'm going to probably be criticizing more of her way.
Okay.
Than what she's really bringing to the table.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't I say the other day, I was like, who is she, like female Jesus?
I know.
Like there was something about it that was like, God, like it's not like difficult stuff to know. Not really.
No, a lot of it is very much common sense.
Been that, but
like drink water. Yeah, girl.
But what has catapulted her?
Why didn't I write a book?
I know. What is it that's catapulted her in the way that it has? Like, what is that thing? She just has it?
I think it is in her very like candid way.
Okay.
Like
she claims to be so completely authentic, which if we're going for the book where she lost me like almost right out of the gate was the stuff about shaving her toes. I'm like, really? Like you're going to be like, I'm going to tell it all here, guys. And then a little toe shaving.
There's Glennon Doyle vulnerability. And then there's Rachel Hollis vulnerability. And I think those are two very different levels. I think Rachel shows you a little bit, the cute bits.
Well, clearly because she was doing all this marriage stuff. They were working together and whatever the case may be. And then they split up and, was there mention of them struggling or being in trouble and working hard on that? I mean, was she authentic about that?
Okay, so I have talked to a few of her fans over the last couple of weeks. And so, just as some information, Rachel and Dave host a podcast called Rise Together, and they focus on marriage. That's the big theme, and having a successful marriage. And then they also tour with Rise Together conferences where they would charge big bucks. I mean, big bucks.
Like what?
I think it was like per person, like $700. Like if you were to go for as a couple, that's even more.
That's pretty reasonable.
It actually might be more.
Is that like a day conference?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's not outrageous to me. For people like that. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if you said like
Maybe
$3,000 or something.
Maybe we can Google how much it cost.
Tony
I don't
Robbins was what? It was $5,000 for his weekend thing from the film.
Oh yeah, I'm not your guru.
Doc. Yeah.
Anyway, it wasn't cheap for sure, and so they would stand on stage and actually, dole out marriage advice. Okay. Yes, they might be experts because they're married, and of course they're working at their marriage. My concern is that
I don't know about experts. We're all experts then, right? Which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm not all about the experts. I'm about like,
it makes me
we all have some information in us.
Makes me queasy that there is no credentials behind them for that. They don't have a psychology background. There's no counseling background. They're just two people that are passionate about marriage.
Right.
And I think that'd be great if they did an opening keynote and then they had
just not their own.
It'd be great if they would have done an opening keynote, which would have been entertaining and whatever, here's the brand, and then maybe had actual
right
therapists.
Do you think they were
counselors?
just two people
Anyway.
who were very business driven, saw the success of this company,
Sure.
and maybe their marriage? I mean, they did have 4 kids, so they were doing it apparently every day in September by the book. She does have. There's one chapter where she's like,
to talk about how much they have
every
sex
day in September. Yeah, I was going to read you the quote.
Yes.
My first 3.
Yes.
Just when she opens that one chapter with, I used to be really bad at sex. And I appreciate that. I think that's cool because there's probably a lot of women, and I think everybody probably goes through that in the beginning anyway, where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's like she says that because she wants to say how great she is at it now.
I find she takes any opportunity to talk about how happy she is, how in love she is with Dave, how successful she is. Anyway, so if we're going to just take our moment here with the whole divorce, they're getting a divorce. And so I talked with someone about, the integrity around the podcast and the Rise Together conferences. And it seems, so I'm talking with people about this who have been in it, and it seems that they weren't transparent about their troubles. Right. They talked about how much they were working on their marriage, but there was no indication that the engine light had come on. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the followers, those who attended the conferences and of course have been listening to the podcast, do feel, sideswiped or something.
And
they're
possibly
shocked.
because she absolutely is about authenticity. That's what she says. So if you're going to say that, then people are going to judge you around that.
It is a little off-brand, isn't it? To just drop, the divorce bomb and just have everyone go, what?
Yeah.
Right? Not like, oh, we were wondering how you guys were doing. No, everyone's just shocked. Like just not too long ago, she was going on I think it was on her podcast about Dave's smoking quarantine body. Well, I'm glad somebody has a smoking quarantine body because it ain't over here. Anyway, oh God. Anyway, and all the sex that they were having. So I don't know. It's very, very confusing. To me, it's like they were presenting an illusion of sorts.
Right.
Because their followers, my goodness, they were shitting their pants when the news dropped.
And I'm like,
some of them were very angry.
I know most people everyone's creating their illusion. Everyone's their avatar. Everybody we know that. We just get it. Right. But if you are claiming authenticity, like in the biggest sense, then you are going to be held accountable for your authenticity. That's got to be a rule.
Okay. So a friend of mine, when I was talking to her about Rachel, she said, you can't fall off a pedestal unless you place yourself upon one. And I was like,
others could put you on one.
Sure. Oh yeah. No, but I think Rachel, because you're saying, well, shit, she knows everything.
Yeah.
She does have all the answers. I think that's somebody placing them themselves on a pedestal. And so I just thought that was a very astute comment. I was like, yep, you're right. If you're going to claim to have it all figured out, your followers, your readers, your audience members are going to take you to task when there is evidence of less than that. Mm-hmm. I think she and Dave did need to be a little bit more real about that, just to save their brand.
That they're authentic,
just to save their brand.
Yeah, because that is
we're open books.
Yeah,
here we are on Instagram almost every day, showing you our lives.
Yeah. So where do you separate the brand from the real people? And then you've got to ask, how much of her brand then is authentic? If this was not known, or they weren't transparent about that. What else is she not being transparent about?
Well, right. And a lot of chirping is going on about, oh, can Rachel come back from this?
Oh, people love this stuff.
Well,
She'll
sure.
be fine.
Oh, please.
She'll be fine. And then she'll be an expert on the comeback, right?
Sure. Oh,
she'll write a book about,
divorce.
that.
How great divorce is.
Yeah.
And I am concerned that all her women followers are going to get divorced.
Do you think she'll end up with a woman like a lot of them?
Well, I mean, that's the next step.
right.
Right. And Glennon Doyle came back from that,
Yes.
So when Glennon Doyle was releasing Love Warrior
Uh-huh.
about how she and her husband saved their marriage after him being, having affairs for years.
Yeah.
As they were releasing the book, the book tour was beginning. She left him for soccer star Abby Wambach.
Amazing. I love it.
Okay.
I
So
love
she
it.
met Abby
Why
Wambach,
does this stuff? I
fell
don't
in
want
love
people
with her.
to break up. I just love that these people are just regular people and
left her husband, right? Like if the infidelity wasn't enough, no, it's like, oh, I just saw Abby Wambach. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
And then she had to go on a book tour and talk about this Love Warrior book
Right.
in the midst of a divorce.
Is she
And she's fine. Now she's got this new
she
book out.
married to the woman?
Yeah, she and Abby are very happy.
Okay.
Okay.
And what about Liz Gilbert? She left her husband and then chose a woman.
After Eat, Pray, Love, right?
Okay.
At the end of Eat, Pray, Love, she marries what's that fellow's name? Philippe.
Okay.
The guy that she met in Indonesia.
Yeah, the hottie in the movie. What was his name?
Mm-hmm. What's his name? Philippe?
What's that doctor? What's that doctor? What's that actor's name?
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
We need a fact checker in here or something where we can just snap at them to go on Google right away.
Guys, we need this podcast to get real popular so we can have an assistant. Okay.
We do. Anyway,
Help
so
us out.
what I'm saying is Glennon Doyle bounced back because she has now released Untamed.
Yeah.
I think actually we're going to do an episode about that book because, again,
Yeah.
it's a big seller.
Can't wait to read another one.
No, this one I think... God,
Well, you never know which way I'm gonna go.
I think you'll like Glennon Doyle better. But anyway, I'm
I think
projecting.
she's trying to convert me, guys.
I'm projecting.
Yeah.
Okay, so she came back, and of course Liz Gilbert.
Right.
Sure, she was chastised for ending that marriage and then
Yeah.
going off with her best friend Rhea,
Right.
a woman.
I don't care who they're with.
Who cares? Oh, I don't care at all
Absolutely
either.
nothing. What's Rachel's next book going to be? Girl?
Well, girl, wash your hands. How she survived
Girl,
a
let's
divorce
suck
in the
face.
pandemic. I don't know. Girl,
Girl,
oh yeah,
sit on my face.
Girl, sit on my. Oh, because she's going to go the other way.
Yeah.
Right. Girl,
Do you think she probably wouldn't do that?
I'd like her a little bit
She's
more.
really
if she
good
did.
at sex, though.
Well, that's
Spread
true.
the love.
Let's. I'm gonna write to her and see if we can put this to the test.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, so that's okay.
See,
So
you have
that
potential. You could hook up.
with Rach.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well,
There you go.
We'd have a little bit of money here for the podcast.
That would be great.
See, because she
Look,
has.
She,
listen,
she did the marriage ladder thing.
she married up.
So why can't we?
Oh, that's it. I'm gonna marry Rachel Hollis, and we're gonna get famous. Oh, screw the pod plant.
Honestly,
we're
people-
going places.
People do it.
Just kidding, Mike.
yeah.
Mike at the pod
We're
plant.
totally kidding.
Anyway, but well,
Are
marrying up is it's a part of the equation for Rachel. She doesn't talk about
She
it
might
really.
not
but
have known she was doing that. I mean, she was 19.
No, I'm
but
not saying-
It didn't sound like she knew much of anything at 19. She seems to have learned everything very quickly. Like she didn't seem to have a clue.
well, she learned everything on the internet.
Yeah.
That's what she says.
Yeah.
Everything you want to know is
She's right.
free on the internet.
She's right.
I don't know. Now that's my voice for her.
Yeah.
But in all of her reflections on how she became successful, what is interesting is there is just never a nod to her privilege. That marrying Dave Hollis, an executive at Disney,
Yeah. Yeah. It might have helped a bit.
maybe,
Yeah.
just maybe gave her a leg up.
I also find she doesn't.
That's capital, baby.
I do think she
We need capital.
quotes people, but I do hear her saying a lot of like, I believe blah, blah, blah. I believe blah, blah, blah. And they're literally like regurgitated things, Susan. So she didn't make it up, and she kind of says it like that. Like, it'll be like the most common self-help, little bit of advice. And it's like, that's the thing is like, I feel like you're right. Like a bumper sticker or someone who's really just like reading all the quotes and putting them together in a sermon and bing, bang, boom.
Raz.
And again, I have no problem with what she's saying. None of these things that are designed to help us help ourselves are necessarily wrong.
Okay,
it's
well,
how we consume it.
I guess, like I can't judge too harshly here because...
You can.
Well, I can, but
I would want you to.
But I don't think it would be fair.
Our listeners
I might be a
want you
hypocrite
to.
because
So what? So's everybody.
Oh, you're going down a little dark tunnel over there, Fanson.
Oh, I sure did.
Anyway, she, I think, did consume a lot of self-help, a lot of personal growth stuff. She talks about going to conferences for years and stuff like that. So again, I think this is a girl who just had so much in her.
Yeah, she had to let it out.
She had to let
but
some
she
out.
Also talks about a lot of pain,
Sure.
a lot of suffering.
Oh, yeah.
And
No,
I don't know
she's-
what her suffering was. I don't. I haven't looked her up.
Well, I mean, definitely, there was a lot of suffering in her childhood, which we can get to.
Did she get a beating? Was she?
So I don't think she was a victim of physical abuse.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe there was a bit of, emotional. It sounded like her childhood, her household was rather toxic. There was violence, I think, or maybe was there violence, but she says there was a lot of arguing between mom and dad.
Well, okay.
Mom and dad
Welcome
weren't
to the
very
world,
sure.
honey.
She was just kind of saying that.
I mean, no,
she didn't grow up in a very
happy. Dad is arguing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make that.
She didn't grow up in a very happy household. Okay. So there was always a lot of drama, a lot of tension, a lot of arguing. Okay. I think dad drank a lot. I think so. I think that was a situation. And of course, the big trauma of her life is that her older brother committed suicide when she was 14. And the poor thing found him in his bedroom.
That's terrible.
Sure. So I think that's her biggest wound.
Yeah. When I teach, my very first class every term, I talk to my students and I ask them questions. They just have to answer some really basic ones.
Yeah.
It starts with like, where are you from? How old are you? Who do you live with? How did you find the school? Like, how do you choose? How did you choose your profession, your career of choice, whatever? And it gets very detailed, and they want to share a lot with me, and I'm very privileged to hear it and to participate in that conversation with them. And I have heard some pretty terrible things.
Yeah. And
so we all go through stuff, and some people have it lucky, and childhood is as dysfunctional as there's a normal dysfunction there. Let's put it that way. No childhood is perfect. I don't even know what that means, but I just don't. I wanted to know, like, when she talks about her pain, does she think that her pain is worse than other people's, or is she just like, look, I got to tell you that I understand?
Yeah, no, okay. I think when she was open about her childhood, and of course, she's had troubles in fostering children. Like, I think there was a point where she actually was in the midst of adopting twin baby girls, and then the biological father said, hold on, yes, no, I want them.
Got it.
And I think she just had them for a hot minute. Can you imagine that?
That'd be really tough.
The lead up to that, the moment they arrive and then they leave. So she's had, of course, disappointments and heartbreak in her life. And so she emphasizes the importance of therapy many times in both Girl Wash Your Face and Girl Stop Apologizing. And I think that's great. I was glad to see that she doesn't maybe have all the answers, and you might want to go see a therapist. So
great,
I was
good.
quite, yes, that's on my I like list. I do have a few things I like. It's a short list, but it's here.
Okay.
So, The Girl Wash Your Face. This is a book, and I would say you would agree with this. That
It's a New York Times
bestseller list.
I mean,
I listened to the podcast where she released the book and found out it didn't get on the New York Times.
Cried?
And she cried. Did you listen to that one too?
Yeah. I got no problem with that. I'd probably cry
Yeah.
if I wanted that, because that was on her list of things she wanted. It was
Yeah.
like, I want a New York Times bestseller. She
I don't
is
know
driven.
It
She
made me
sets
cringe,
goals.
though,
She goes after them. I mean,
yeah.
if anything, I'd probably be irritated because not everything I endeavor to do works out. So, I mean, I'm like, more power to you, man.
Well, she puts her goals on champagne bottles.
Yeah.
And so I think she had that champagne bottle with the label New York Times bestseller for years.
See, she already wins because that champagne wouldn't last 10 years in my house. And when I get the letter that it's not accepted, I'm smashing it over the car.
Such restraint. You're like, what? There's bottles in a fridge?
Wait a second.
That last a long time?
That thing could go bad.
Okay,
Is there an expiration date on that?
This is a book for a specific audience. And I think that's important to remember. I'm reading it, and every time I'm just kind of twinging or, I don't know, cringing. I'm reminded, I'm reminding myself that this is for a very specific audience, and that is a mom, right? Like an overwhelmed, tired mom.
There's a lot of those.
Forgotten who she is or has lost her way.
Do you think Rachel Hollis has ever been an overwhelmed, overwrought mom?
Not really, because she has nannies and housekeepers. Again, she writes from a place of privilege. I don't know if she really knows what it's like.
4 kids is a lot.
I think, yeah, and not to diminish that. I'm just saying, really, I think the place she comes from is different than, say, her audience member.
Well, when she talks about motherhood, one of the things she said was she doesn't feel like all the other moms. And that sentence really bothered me because that's such a generalization she's making when she says, I don't feel like all the other moms. And I'm like, first of all, there are moms who also don't feel like the other moms. You don't know a thing about how all the moms feel. You can't
that's a big
possibly know
assumption.
how all the moms feel. And like, what are you trying to say by saying I don't feel like that? How are you different? Because you're successful? Because you say you show up in a suit to the schoolyard and it made you feel different or like not connect or whatever, not connected, and like, okay, that I have a problem with.
Okay, now you're a little lit up.
Because she's putting herself above everyone when she says that.
Well, I mean, to say that she is very focused on appearance and dressing a certain way and going for the finer things in life is, I think, an understatement. I couldn't get over how many references she made about wanting to be rich and wanting to look the part.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, if you're going to be obsessed with putting this persona on and always dressing up to the nines, you're not going to be like the other moms, because the other moms are like,
help me. Yeah.
They got their Old Navy on just trying to get through the day.
That's
I don't
right.
know.
That's right.
It's true. But
she's willing to take their money, so it's fine.
Girl.
But when she talks about focusing on quality time, right? Mm-hmm. Really, with her kids, that it became about quality. I thought that's how dads in maybe previous generations, I don't know how they feel now, because dads went to work, right? And they didn't have as much time with the kids.
Yep.
And they had to focus on the quality time. And, they were pursuing careers. And I thought, that's just what she sounds like to me. It doesn't sound like she's even recognizing that she's a woman in society that is where women are very focused on career now. You don't stand out in that way. You're doing extremely well, but that used to be how dads felt. And now moms feel like that too. I work, I need quality time with my kids. It doesn't make you stand out as a mother to me. As a business person, she stands out. As a mother, she does not. Well, and I'm a mom, so.
She's very proud of herself.
Mm-hmm, she is.
Very. And I mean, throughout the book, I was reminded over and over and over again.
Yeah.
How good she's got it and how much she's done. It was to a point of nausea at times, but
give credit where credit's due. That's fine. I don't, it's good for women to say, I'm good at this. I'm proud of myself. But like, okay, we get
I
it.
don't know if you need to talk about it this much in a book. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think there is a point where you can alienate your reader. I just think gentle, less is more. Yeah. So this book is for, moms, women who lack self-esteem, lack feelings of self-worth. Like really, I'm reading the introduction, Fanson, and I'm thinking to myself, this is Dr. Phil.
Wow.
Reincarnated.
She wouldn't be bragging about that. She likes the Tony Robbins reference, though. I wouldn't be bragging about the Dr. Phil reference. That's what you got, eh?
This is just what I was perceiving. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
If you hid the cover and said this is a Dr. Phil book, I would have believed you.
Mm-hmm.
So she points out your flaws. Okay, she gets up your ass about your struggle because she wants you to want her to fix you.
Yeah.
I really do. I see there's a little bit of, I don't know, there's almost like manipulation. You're like, oh, that's true. I don't have it together. I'm a hot mess. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Oh, thank God we're here together.
But the thing is, if she's a leader, she can't talk like that. She has to be a leader. And people want that. People want that. Bottom line, Hollis is our fault. She's a work-obsessed, hungry-driven person, and she's succeeding extremely well.
Yep.
And, artists, everyone steals ideas. There's very little original thought, people say.
There isn't.
And so she's a perfect example of regurgitated self-help messages and jargon and ideas, and she's making it work.
Sure. And I think, I have consumed a lot of books, the self-help books. And at this point I go, okay, there it is again. The same stuff. This is just this person's take on it. This is, their packaging, their way of expressing it.
Yeah.
And I've come to, I'm at peace
You mean
with
how
that.
Oprah got the aha moment? Like she took Epiphany and rebranded it?
Exactly.
Like that? Is that what you mean?
Well, a little bit. Yeah. So I'm at peace with that. I really don't expect to learn anything new from a self-help book. I just like how people express it. Now, I didn't like how Rachel expressed it. I didn't like her approach really at all, but I could see, oh, there it is again. She's saying what they all do, and that's great. Yeah. And so if she reaches certain women with her way, that's cool. I'm quite glad that she's helping people, but
yeah, but we're not here to talk about that.
Well, I really do. I thought
that goes without saying.
Fanson, I really thought this style of self-help was long dead.
Yeah.
Like, again, this is something, if this book had come out in like the 80s or 90s, right? Or if I was reading it, realizing it was written in the 80s or 90s, I'd be like, oh, see, that's a sign of the times. Mm-hmm. Somebody's just telling you how to do it, how to live, get your shit together. Again, I'm kind of assuming the personification of Dr. Phil there, but it's not. It was like, this was written in, 2013, 2014? It was a few years ago, maybe 2015. Like, holy shit. I don't know. Just preach, honey, preach. That's it.
Yeah.
You're preacher's daughter.
Mm-hmm. I was listening to one of her sermons yesterday.
When you say that, you mean you're listening to her podcast?
I guess. Yeah. It was in the car, and I was like, it was like clockwork, right? Like she kind of starts with this personal story, and then she goes in. It's good storytelling,
sure.
And then she goes into ways that people are, or what we feel, or like whatever it was. And then she comes up with this list of things, and the list, the crescendo of the list. And I'm like, I'm up on my feet. I'm like, woo, and then I was like, all of a sudden I got this feeling that she was going to pass around the collection plate.
Sure.
And right at that moment, she started talking about her next conference. And I was like, that is the money plate. I was like, it's a perfect sermon. So she's doing it, and that's right. The plate goes around, and everyone's like, yes, right? Putting the money towards the church. And literally the moment I thought, geez, this is the moment you get the collection plate, that's what happened.
Fanson, did you listen to the podcast where she just sits by herself in the studio and just barfs out her pain about the divorce?
I heard a little of that. Okay.
What's alarming to me is that she still is promoting her business through this 20-minute rant. She's like, if you want to stay in touch, make sure you register for the newsletter. And you can follow me on Instagram. Like, she's promoting herself in what I would think is one of her darkest hours.
Yeah.
Never stops.
She might also be, if it were me, I'd be thinking for sure, are people going to call me out for not being authentic about this? right? So that podcast where she was like crying and, just talking about how difficult it was, it sounded to me like there was a little bit of backtracking, you know what I mean? Like backpedaling just a little, and that's fine. I mean, she's self-aware, so I wouldn't be surprised. She should have that thought, I'm not saying that that's what's driving her. I think she just wants to keep her business going. But
well, I mean, really, to talk about your newsletter as you're pouring your heart out to your listeners, I don't know. That's a level up. That's amazing. Like you said, she's quite driven. Yeah. Now, I don't know about you, but
not quite.
I think the most disturbing,
ferociously.
The most disturbing part of this book
not that there's anything wrong with that.
And when I say disturbing, I'm not saying really her messages. I'm saying her approach, her tone was the introduction. I can't quite get over this introduction. First of all, she writes it as a letter to the reader.
Okay. That's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's all this like, stop doing this, start doing this. It's, I don't know, like some kind of like shamey, blamey, tough love talk that really I haven't heard from since I lived with my parents or seen my parents. No. Hey, mom and dad.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Ooh,
right? Like
we just did guys.
So like, here it is. Like, I just want to read you just a couple sentences.
Do it.
Like, I want to grab you by the shoulders and shake you until your teeth rattle.
That's a little scary.
Aggressive. I want to get in your face until you have the courage to look me in the eyes and see the answer for yourself. I want to shout at the top of my lungs until you know this one great truth. You are in control of your own life. Like, stop eating your feelings instead of working through them. Stop buying your kids love with food or toys or friendship because it's easier than parenting.
Preach,
stop
sister.
abusing your body and your mind. Stop. She just says stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she's right.
I know, but really, honestly,
it's hard to criticize. These are, stop. If you're doing these things and you're not happy, stop doing them.
I don't know.
I don't know why she should be a multi-million-dollar human being for saying things that she's never invented. That's what offends me. Otherwise, preach away, man.
I find this far too aggressive. I don't think people listen when you're yelling, right? So for me, I'm just like, my back is right up.
Yeah.
I'm like you say, don't tell me what to do or don't tell me what not to do. I shut down. I was like, oh my God, I have to read this book for the podcast. This is going to be a long ride. I don't know. So, she's telling or yelling at the reader, but her use of the phrase, you guys, I mean, it softens it, I suppose.
Does it? You guys.
But it's interesting, right? Like, you guys. So the editor didn't go, okay, Rach, it's only going to be one person reading that book. Okay. So it just kind of sounds like we're all together. She wants it
to be casual. She wants to feel like she wants you to feel like she's talking right to you.
But plural, like we're all together, us girls, at our book club.
Right.
Reading it out loud to each other.
And maybe some people read it and they hear that and they feel that. Feel less alone.
Yeah. Okay. Like, I have a few things here. I don't know.
I'm listening.
Oh God. Okay. Like I said, the introduction, I think, was the hardest part for me. Now, when she's talking about the importance of growing and learning, she references the hard work she does for her lifestyle website. Okay. So I don't know. Well, you gotta laugh. Here's an excerpt. That's why I researched 30 different ways to clean out your front load washer before I taught my tribe how to do it.
Oh,
it's why I know the perfect ratio of balsamic and citrus to make your pot roast taste amazing. So I don't know. I just for me, I'm reading that thinking, is that your best example of growing and learning? Is
she's keeping it simple?
Oh, she sure is.
Yeah,
that's some
it's
basic.
Easy to understand. It's relatable.
Okay. I don't know. That one to me, I guess I'm getting a little critical of content there, but I just
no, it's okay.
I don't know.
Love it. Keep going.
I know you're excited that
no, there is one thing that another one that she says, Lord Jesus. She's talking about her son.
She is a very religious woman.
Yes. She's talking about her son, and she says, if he rolls his eyes at me one more time, Lord Jesus, I'm going to rip off both his arms and whack him over the head with them.
Good Christian. Good Christian there.
I don't mind. I'm just like,
I know.
Wow, her descriptive stuff is like, it's almost a little too detailed. You know what I mean?
Again,
But
a
I'm
level
okay
up,
with it.
Rach.
Yeah.
Amazing,
I'm
eh?
gonna rip off his arms.
And then beat him with them.
That's sick shit. That is sick.
Okay, I kind of
Think
like her a
about
little
that.
bit more
I'm
now.
gonna rip off your arms
Yes,
and
yes.
beat
Well,
you with your own arms.
those churchgoers, you know.
Like, how's that feel? Remember when your
never-
brother or sister used to hold your hands like by the wrist, hold you by the wrist and make you slap yourself? Did that ever happen to you? Did you ever have that?
I don't.
Okay, we did.
Okay.
I mean, like, that was bad enough. You're like slapping your own face, but someone's gonna take your arms off.
It's quite a visual, isn't it? Gee, I wonder why Dave's divorcing her.
I wonder.
Or if she divorcing him, or I don't know what the hell. But
Hopefully
like,
he doesn't go missing.
exactly. They just find his torso.
Right.
Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, honestly, it's within the first 10 pages of this book that Rachel is basically telling me, or is that yelling at me, to get my shit together. Like, honestly, is it going to be hard? Absolutely. But taking the easy way out is how you end up on the sofa 50 pounds overweight while life passes you by.
Okay.
Okay, I will say at this point that I am concerned about her focus on weight. I do think there is a bit of food shaming and I'm going to say weight shaming or body shaming. I don't know. It's a lot of food shaming.
Okay.
Anyway, I've got
But this is again where
I don't
she is taking the stance of being an expert.
yeah.
And that's okay. I do think we all know this stuff. And she at least is being honest about it. She learned it all off the internet. So fair enough. You know, but then I think maybe she's like, if you're reading her book, maybe instead of reading her book, you should be writing your own.
Can I read something else
Yeah,
now?
go ahead. I was just kind of, I didn't
Yeah.
know what I was talking about.
No, it's good. I was just looking it up. Like, she's talking about how it is difficult to stick to a goal. I mean, there's a wee bit of validation in this book.
Okay.
Where she says, yeah, I get it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I see you. I hear you. It's, I don't know, a very small percentage of the book, but she does. And she's like, you'll try out some different tools and techniques, and while some of them will feel okay, maybe one will feel like the answer, and then 37 different others will feel like garbage, and then you'll wake up tomorrow and do it again and again and again, and you'll fail. You'll fall off the wagon. You'll eat half of a birthday cake when no one is watching, right?
Okay.
Like, again, food, or scream at your husband, or drink too much wine all month long.
I think she pops some Benadryl too. She's got a little thing in here about where she can't shut off her brain.
Oh, I
You
can
end up having
imagine.
to take a Benadryl just to fall asleep.
I can imagine, like, her hamster wheel is always turning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't seem like she really ever sits down. You know, I find it interesting that she talks about self-care, but I perceive, it seems to me that her definition of self-care really is in the way of, like, health and wellness, your body.
I guess.
Drinking
I think
water. I don't, does she
her
ever talk?
self-care is her business.
Yeah. She never,
Like
herself, or she doesn't encourage women to, like, hey, chill out.
Right.
Take a vacation.
Right.
Go have fun.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? Take the day off.
Well, she probably doesn't.
No.
I wonder if her kids are going to write a book one day.
And go, where's mommy?
Yeah.
Where did mommy go?
Where did mommy go?
Where are my arms? Honest to God. I'm just trying to, oh God, something about, yeah, she's going on about here, like, all of her, like, imperfections. Yeah. I mean, she's cute in the way that she says, you know, I am just like you. You know, I have cavities in my mouth. I've got cellulite.
Right.
Or the
she's
weird
a
third boob
human
thing that
being.
sits in between my arm and my regular boob when I wear a
I
tank
know.
top.
I had a hard time with that one too.
Okay.
It's this thing
yeah,
right here.
Yeah. I got it. I
What-
got it. It's bigger.
Her bra might be too tight.
Now more than ever, I see it. Did I mention back fat or the hair that grows out of the mole on my face? She's into the hair, hey?
Oh, yeah.
Because she talks about hair
Does
on her
she
toes.
shave the hair that grows out of her mole?
I don't think you should.
I don't know.
I think it might bleed a
That's
lot
like-
there.
Oh. I don't know.
Oh, and then what if I started a book by telling you that I peed my pants as an adult, as a fully grown human?
She was on a trampoline.
And it wasn't the first time, nor will it be the last. Oh, she's planning. She's planning.
Planning her piddle.
But again, like she's talking about the importance of commitment to your goals. This was a big part of the book. Do not break promises to yourself. And even I got a little riled up, right? Because I feel like in this pandemic right now, I really am. I'm trying to get in better shape because, well, life is just so different. The gyms are closed still and blah, blah, blah. And I break promises to myself quite a bit right now. I'm like, yeah, this is the week. This is the week where I start losing weight. And then, yeah, it doesn't happen. But so again, the emphasis on food.
But the thing about the making promises to yourself, she also didn't invent that one either.
No, sure. No,
and
you're right.
So where I get irritated here is that I feel like she's a little greedy Gus. She's literally taken every topic, all of the things, and written about all of them, all the greatest hits. Like, that's all.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. She's allowed. It's just a little bit irritating. It's like, really? That too, Rach?
Yep.
Really?
Well, when you looked
that too.
When you looked at the index and saw all the different chapters, not one really related to the other.
No.
It was.
No, she just wants to own it all. She just wants to.
Okay, so in the idea of breaking promises to yourself, here's her big idea. What if a friend from work was constantly starting something new? Every 3 Mondays, she announced a new diet or goal, and then 2 weeks later, it just ended. What if you called her on it? Like, hey, Pam. She loves the name Pam.
Okay.
Kind of like a Karen, but hey, Pam, I thought you were doing Whole30. Meanwhile, Pam is sitting in the break room eating a meat lover's pizza and telling you that she was doing Whole30. And even though it made her feel great, 2 weeks into the program, her son had a birthday party and she couldn't resist the cake and then figured there was no point. Now she's gained back the pounds she lost plus a few extra.
Are we all supposed to hate Pam? Should we kill Pam? Like, no,
she's
what are we supposed to do with Pam?
She's looking at that.
I feel terrible for Pam. She's having a tough time. Pam also might not give an F, you know what I mean? She may be like, I'm eating this fucking thing right now.
I'm going to write Pam Eat the Pizza. That's my book. Pam Eat the Pizza and the cake.
The pizza.
But yeah, like just shaming, that vulnerable part of us, that weaker part of us that does emotionally eat or just give up and say, fuck it. I want carbs.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just a lack of humanity there. A lack of compassion.
I wonder if Rachel's fun. I can't see her hanging out with like us.
Well, I don't. She doesn't eat.
She's super successful, so I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, once we're married, you can hang out with my super cool, super rich wife.
Lucky me.
My new girl, Rach. Oh my God. Well, the thing is I'd probably lose a lot of weight though, because we don't have food in the house.
Well, she'd be on your ass.
But see, again, it's about, I don't know. There is the slave driver mentality with her, or I think a self-loathing mentality. She chokes down a smoothie every morning and talks about how disgusting it is. I just don't think that's thing, Susan. I don't think that's self-care.
Well, if you need the greens and it's like all the time you have, and that's how you're getting your fuel, then choke it down. I mean, I choked down greens for years, and then someone said to me, you're really not helping. And I was like, okay, I'll stop. But I was like, yeah, I choke it back because it's good for me.
I don't know, to have something for breakfast every day that kind of just makes you want to barf. I don't know. It just seems like she's being so hard on herself.
It's all uphill. It's all not uphill. It's all downhill from there. It means wake up. What was that expression? Eat a frog in the morning and the rest of the day will be like whatever. I can't remember exactly what it is. It's an old thing. Anybody know what I'm talking about? But it's basically saying if you start with the worst, your day can only get better.
Well, true.
I just want to know.
I know we got. Are
you hearing drums?
We got some drums
in my head.
We got some drums.
It might just be upstairs in my head.
In another studio, and that's nice. We need some beats.
Yeah, and he's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's kind of. I guess it's fair that if she's going to be hard on the reader, she's hard on herself.
Yeah.
Okay. At least she's walking the talk that way. That if she's going to be up your ass about certain, she's up her own ass.
Be up her own.
That little bum.
That reminds me of my Best Before episode.
Yeah.
Of the bum finger guy.
Oh.
Anyway.
Oh, right. Bum finger.
Bum finger.
I do agree with her emphasis on healthy habits.
Yeah.
and it positively influencing all other parts of your life.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of talk in this book, a lot about being in shape and not eating crap. Like another quote, your weight doesn't define you, but the care and consideration you put into your body does. And I don't like that. I'm going to say, okay, Rachel, nothing defines us. Not our habits, not our accomplishments, not our relationships. Being a hot mess does not define us. And the fact that she says that in her book is a big reveal that I'm not sure she wanted to actually do. Right there, she's admitting that with every disgusting green smoothie she drinks each morning, every brutal workout, every award, every book on the New York Times bestseller list, she is hustling. She is hustling for her worthiness. Like, anyway. Anyway.
I think your choices do sort of define you.
To define someone?
I think your choices do, yeah. Because your
I
choices add up, and every day is full of choices from the moment you wake up to the time you choose to go to bed.
I just don't know. I don't know. I guess I just didn't like the word define, like that I'm a good person, I'm a strong person, that I'm someone that's worthy of love. I don't know. When I get into the word define, I think, oh, are you getting into my value? I don't know.
All right.
Like it's a judgment. Let's just say that for sure. To define someone is to judge. I mean, you obviously got an opinion then. It's like, anyway.
You want to dance?
I know we do have quite the beat here.
I'm keeping it going. Like we could always be like, hey buddy, can you? And I like it.
Now, I'll tell you, here's what I like about the book though. The book focuses on lies we tell ourselves and believe, right? Like stories we tell ourselves that prevent us from being happy, healthy, or successful.
Okay, she didn't make it up though. That's not
no,
her.
but I kind of like how she packaged
it. Stuff.
I like how she packaged it. Like,
here's what I want. I want everyone who reads her book.
Yes.
To know that it's not original.
No, that's true. That's
just
important.
Don't read it like she made it up. She's a multi-million-dollar human being.
Totally.
Okay. She didn't make that stuff up. Just know that. That's all.
And there's really not much original in my books either. I will openly sit here right here today and say that.
Yeah.
That it is my twist on it. It's my take on it. It's how I deliver the messages. And of course my stories are woven in and all that kind of stuff. But no.
Yeah.
Like it's no.
That's why I like the research-based stuff, because I'm like, oh,
sure, yeah,
what studies did they do on the mind to know that's why I do what I do?
Sure. Yep. Oh no, definitely. And I enjoy the science stuff too. But I also, there'll be times when someone will come up to me at a conference or someone will email me after reading the book and go, you know what? I just really liked your style.
Yeah. Cool.
I've heard these things before, but I just kind of like your way.
Yeah.
It's lighthearted. It's not too cerebral because, hey, I'm over here and don't have much of a left brain. But it's, I tread lightly. I try to make it fun. I try to make it just easy to understand because that's how I need it. And I think it reaches a certain kind of person.
Right.
Whereas maybe you're sitting there going, oh, that's basic.
Did you just toss an an imaginary book over your shoulder?
Yes, I was miming.
Yeah.
You going, piece of shit. But,
no, I have
where's
a
that Brene
blowtorch.
Brown?
I have a blowtorch in my hand. Watch this.
But, I like some of the lies. Like, I'm not good enough. She challenges that lie. Or, I should be further along by now. I really liked that. Because I can get caught up in that lie to this very day. Or, I will never get past this. Sometimes we just always think that setbacks are permanent. Not that I really even believe in setbacks, but I do like how she challenges the lie. She shares how she kind of came to the truth and talks about the changes that she made in her mindset to live more of that, opposite truth. But then every chapter does end with 3 things that helped me. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, they did help you. Right. I just don't know if these are 3 things that could help everyone.
Yeah. And I guess she's trying to say, look, I'm in the game. I'm doing it too. I don't think she's necessarily saying this is how you'll find success.
Sure.
But it's a suggestion. I mean, like the sex chapter when she was like, have sex every day for a month.
Oh,
like,
Rach.
Like, come on.
I'm tired.
I mean, like, okay, maybe, but.
Maybe for the first month.
Well, yeah, anyway. I think she's just saying that 1 month. Not every day your whole life. I mean, you're going to start chafing.
Walking funny.
Yeah. But anyway,
I don't know.
I think that's a funny one. Like every day for a month.
I just, you sometimes.
I feel like she's 16 when she's saying that one.
Sure. You criticize kind of the memoir type of self-help books. And I'm thinking, this is memoir-y, right? Like, these type of self-help books can really lack ideas that everyone can implement.
Yeah.
Right? There aren't concrete, actionable habits or goals here. It's like, here's what worked for me from my place of privilege. Right? Not everyone can afford therapy, but I'm glad you talk about it in every chapter. Anyway, so I don't know. It's all I can say is one thing that I also don't find realistic about Rachel is just how extreme she is, that we have to do something every day. Like she talks a lot about just every day. And I'm thinking, again, no self-care. Hey, can we not chill out? No downtime. You know, she's got her 5 to Thrive program. Did you?
No.
Yeah, 5
Look,
to
I'm
Thrive.
going to be honest with you. Even the book,
You're getting tired, I know.
I got halfway through it and I was like, I'm not finishing this book. I don't care. We're doing a podcast on it, but why am I going to read this self-help book? Like I got it already.
Sure. Okay. So you didn't find value in the actual
I couldn't.
content.
I couldn't.
That's cool. But I don't know. There's a real slave driver mentality in this book, and I'm concerned that a reader would look at this and, of course, be hanging on her every word, thinking that they have to, in order to be successful, happy, or healthy, they have to just grind away every day. She tells a story about coming home late one night from hanging out with friends. Clearly, there had been wine, as you do when you're with the friends, and she goes running on her treadmill. And she posted about it on a Snapchat, and one of her friends from the group that she was hanging out with saw the post, texted her and said, "What the hell are you doing, girl? It's late. Why aren't you postponing your workout till tomorrow?" And she replied, "No, because I made a promise to myself and I don't break those, not ever."
She's a multi-million dollar
I don't believe
person.
you.
So,
but also just a very dangerous message.
I mean, if it's true, I have no doubt in my mind why she's as successful as she is. I don't know how much fun she'd be, and I don't know if she would be the best wife or mother, but she doesn't, obviously she has her priorities, and that's great.
I'm concerned because as on this podcast, we talk about the downfall of the self-help world or self-improvement movement, of it awakening our inner critic, when we can't reach these lofty goals. And this is a book full of lofty goals. I got anxiety sometimes reading this book.
Wow.
Sure. So, oh my God. And she was on her podcast once, and it was like early ass. It was like 4 a.m, maybe even earlier. And she's like, "Hey guys, I'm doing this right now because I've got a big day. So I'm up early, doing this. I got my workout in already. And of course I had my smoothie, and I've done my journaling." And she's whispering because it's so early. And I can imagine she is fucking tired because she probably only had 4 hours of sleep.
As if she has to whisper though.
I know.
It's not like the kids are right there because it's a 1-room house.
So she's in a hotel room telling me that she, already went down for her workout.
Oh, right.
And she's already done her morning routine because she's going on Good Morning America at 8 a.m. today. And I'm thinking, I love fitness too. You do too, as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I think exercising every damn day is unrealistic. Okay. If you're going to actually say do it every day, that's unrealistic. And I actually don't think it's healthy. So I say that with passion right now because I worked out for 5 days straight last week, and then I threw my back out. As I was about to sit down on the toilet, my back spasmed out because, I did 5 intense workouts in a row, which our bodies really, shouldn't do. There needs a rest day in there. And when you're in your 40s, Rach, you can't
difference maker.
I can't be hearing about the powers of exercising every day.
I wonder what she's going to write about when she's 60.
Yeah.
There won't be anything new
I know.
in the self-help world. So will she just have to keep writing the same stuff? Or is that why she's branched out to cooking and everything?
Well, I mean,
every
she was definitely like a lifestyle media mogul type thing, and then of course she stumbled into the self-help world. Yeah. Who knows? I hope she has the pizza one day. But okay, so she has this 5 to Thrive program. Oh, and women hang on this. They commit themselves to this.
Oh, is it like she tells you what to do? It's homework? Because I heard one yesterday and I was like, damn, I'm going to do that. She was like, clean up your media. Clean up your media, right? Go through your phone and get rid of all the garbage. I was like, that's a damn good idea, girl.
Okay, so that's Marie Kondo.
Yeah.
We clear the clutter.
I know that.
The Magical Powers of Tidying Up by Rachel Hollis. But she's like, drink the water. Okay, here's her 5 things. Drink the water. Drink half your body weight in ounces of water every single day. That's a lot of fucking water. In fact, something could happen to our brain if that.
You can drink too much water.
Yes, you can. And
You
I
can.
do believe that
You
might,
actually can.
you might drown.
Has she done the
You know, you can
research
drown
on that?
in a teaspoon of water.
I know.
I don't know, but
would
that's
you
just.
just explain to me though. How would you drown in a teaspoon of water?
Well, if it goes down
Am
the
I
wrong
really
way.
small?
No, I'm saying to ingest water
Yes.
improperly. Okay.
Yes.
Now you got to cut out a category of food for 30 days. Now, I'm not sure if you're doing that every day. That means 30 foods are leaving your diet at certain times. That's a lot. Anyway. But okay. So we're cutting out a category of food for 30 days. Obviously, pizza is off the table every month.
day.
Okay. Now be active. 30 minutes of exercise every day.
It's not over the top.
It's not over the top. It's just, that word every day. Okay, wake up early, even if it means going to bed early. Like she is a big, like she is so passionate about people getting up at like 4 or 5 in the morning.
I better clean up my act, man.
Girl,
wow.
wash your face. And then write down what you're grateful for. And you really got to work on that.
Oh yeah.
You said in episodes long
I
ago
don't
that
want to
you were
write
going
it
to.
down. It's in my head
So here,
and my heart. Why do I have to write it down?
I get concerned about these strict standards. They can create self-loathing when they don't happen. And they likely won't happen, Rach. Because shit happens, Rach.
Shit happens.
You know, some days it's not going to happen. I don't know. Anyway, so she's very extreme, but she's very proud of herself. Can I just read you this quote?
Sure.
I know you're just sitting there now having a good time watching me.
I really am.
I'm almost done, by the way.
Okay.
Okay. So she talks a lot about how successful she is. And I quote, "I am the Babe Ruth of knocking it out of the park in the lifestyle media sector."
Okay.
Babe Ruth.
All right. That's pretty great. I mean, it is.
Like it would be.
I don't even know what to say.
Maybe
about
it would have
that.
stood out to me if she said, "I have been called the Babe Ruth," but she is calling herself the Babe Ruth.
Now, if a
Just-
man did that, would you have a problem with
yes,
it?
I just
Okay.
really I believe in humility.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're checking.
You can be a
ourselves
big
that
deal.
We're not like, because I don't feel like she's a woman and she doesn't deserve it. I
Oh, no,
I
no,
don't
no.
feel like that at all.
If this, I mean, this is why, you know, certain speakers in my industry, I just try not to vomit in my mouth when I hear them talk, because they just love to tell you how much they have it together and how good, you know, how good their life is and what they've done. It's I don't know, just sanctimonious. It's just, I don't know. It gets to be a bit much. But just so you know, she's only happy 90% of the time.
Okay.
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 Loser.
She says that. I'm happy 90% of the time.
Okay.
Wow.
Good.
No, of course-
There's no way to check that. You can't fact check that. There's no way for her to prove it.
No.
So she can say it, and you either, believe it or care or don't. I'm curious to know why she's saying that. Is she saying that because, if your happiness factor is to that degree, then you are winning. It's not necessarily normal for human beings to have 90% happiness all the time. So I do question it, just because from the research even you and I have looked at, like, that's just not, it's kind of not possible. I don't know when she wrote that. Did she write it?
I don't think she'd be saying that right now.
When these guys are going through a major divorce, or
Yep.
she has talked about now how she's talked about how she and Dave have struggled for so long,
Yep.
so long. She doesn't even remember how long, so long. That's not happy.
In her
I mean, that's not to say you're an unhappy person, but it means you are dealing with stuff that's probably going to affect that happiness factor.
Probably going to bring it down to at least 75%. Hey, Fanson? Well, she said in her podcast when she was doing that emotional barf out about the divorce, she said that they've been struggling for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So
at
anyway,
least.
but I think it was connected to the chapter about you're in charge of your own happiness, which
Okay.
of course we agree with. And she talks about, like not comparing yourself to others, surrounding yourself with positivity, figuring out what makes you happy. So, I mean, I think that was in the context of just, that part of the
I
book
just
where
feel
you're
like it's a teenager who says,
Yes.
I'm happy almost all the time. That's just somebody who just really is either out of touch or so self-centered that if they're in a good mood, right? A teenager in a good mood would be like, I'm happy like almost all the time. And you see that teenager like the next day when they're like moody and angry, and they'd be like, I'm never happy.
True.
You know what I mean?
You're
Like, it
right.
feels so-
Again, extremes.
Yeah.
Also, just a major lack of self-awareness. But also, she contradicts herself. In chapter 3, she states that she's a recovering workaholic.
Right. Like she's
Like
not
all better
a workaholic now.
All better, Rach. Proceeds to describe her lifestyle, which looks a lot like one of a workaholic.
Yeah.
But she says she works a lot because she freaking loves, quote unquote, freaking loves
Yeah.
her job.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I can see wanting to work all the time when you love what you do. No
Sure.
problem.
I don't know.
Does she freaking love her kids that much? I'm just wondering.
Well, she says actually that her marriage is the most important thing. She said that on podcasts before.
What did she say about her kids?
I think, they're definitely.
That she wants to rip their arms off and keep them with them.
I don't know. Like, she just has her foot on the accelerator all the time. And again, I just feel anxious. I kind of feel like a lazy piece of shit a lot of the times reading this book. I don't know.
You're a good person, Susan.
No, it's just, I have worked hard in my life to achieve something.
Not as hard as Rachel.
Not anything
Nowhere near.
close.
Nowhere near.
In chapter 4, she talks about women judging other women. But I find that this whole book is very judgmental.
Right.
Like, I don't think there's a lot of compassion. I think she has a lot of opinions about women's struggles.
She does have opinions. She definitely has opinions. I would say it's a book on opinions more than it is about things that she feels are actually workable. Like, there are no quotes. You can't really take a quote from this book. I was trying, and I was like, I'll just pull a sentence, Not that, God forbid, I'm not saying I want her to have quotes, because like, I don't. And the quotes, I mean, they're quick fixes. I get that. What am I trying to say here, Susan? It's opinions. I think you're right. I think she's just like, this is what I think about
another word
sleep. This is what I think about.
Another word for opinion is judgment.
Right.
I mean, those are synonymous. And so I just think, okay, well, that chapter didn't make sense, Rach.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but I also I felt like it was a parent talking to me. She's very condescending. I find that she talks down to her reader and to her podcast listeners like we're a bit daft or like we're children. Like, at one point in the book, she's about to reveal the most important part of the story. But before she does, she asks me if I'm paying attention. I don't know if you remember that part in the book. It's early on.
No.
She goes, yeah, are you paying attention? If I just read that, I guess I am, Rach. In one of her podcast episodes, she makes some pseudo-profound statement and then follows it up by saying, let that sink in for a second. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just try to keep up with you, Rach. At the end of another podcast episode, she says, you are in control of your life now. Start acting like it.
Right.
Okay.
So it's a tough love.
Wow. A
sort of thing.
parent. I don't know. She also says in her book, Girl, Stop Apologizing, she's pointing out a belief that holds some women back from setting goals, and then proceeds to say, don't be dumb. Don't be dumb.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, that was pretty dumb of you to write. Because
people are digging it, man.
Wow.
They're digging it.
I guess, like you said,
I feel like I should have done this years ago. I could have done it.
You said, you've said many times on this podcast.
Regret, baby.
You have said many times on this podcast that we are parenting ourselves.
Yes.
And so I think she's feeding into this, that we are looking for leadership, for guidance.
Absolutely.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like her chapter on no is not the answer. Sometimes no is the answer. Sometimes, that door shutting is going to put you in another direction and to something that's going to be much better. So sometimes you got to let go and let it be. I don't know. I didn't love that. I don't know. I again, it's just so like a slave driver. Anyway.
This whole thing, I mean, we got to wrap it up.
I know we do.
This whole thing about her, like the mom thing when she was like, her son, there was a necklace incident and the kid said, you should get one of those. All the moms at my school have them. You need to get one too. And she was like, okay. She says, I was a bit confused. Why do I need to get one? He smiled at me happily. So you can finally be like all the other moms. So I'm wondering, first of all, why did he say that? Did he say that because he's looking at her and going, my mom's not like all the other moms? Or does he hear her saying around the house, I'm not like all the other moms? When you
Oh,
think
yeah.
about a kid saying something
yeah.
like that, that's either because they've heard it
Yeah.
or very unusual that a kid looks at a mom and goes, my mom's not like all the other moms. It's not something kids notice in that way.
That is interesting.
He's a young guy.
Yeah, he's echoing.
Yeah.
Something
I think
he's
so too,
heard.
which means you're walking around like pretty special girl. That's okay. So I think that crushed her. She hadn't worried about her jewelry or lack thereof, and what it said about her as a mom. She says, but I was glaringly aware of how different I was from the other mothers at Jackson's school events. I just didn't know that he'd noticed as well. I think that's crap. I really think that's crap.
I do like her overall message that when life knocks you down, you got to get back up. Right. I do like that. I know it's basic. We've heard it all before, but I sometimes even need to get, that little push to just like have that fortitude and that perseverance. I mean, that's why it's titled Girl, Wash Your Face, right? Mm-hmm. She says, when life knocks you down, have a good cry and then get back up, wash your face and get back to it.
Sure.
And I think that's the essence of resiliency. We bounce back after, adversity, we get back up. So, I mean, I appreciate that sentiment. And I always need to hear it, because, on any given day, you can really just sometimes want to fold your tent. Mm-hmm. And, she talks about her journey, and I'll give you my favorite quote. Okay. Or the favorite moment in the book. It's highly possible that by not being where you should be, you will end up exactly where you're meant to go.
Oh, God, this stuff.
I like it.
It's fine. I swear to God, sometimes I'm just like, ugh.
I also liked when she said, embracing chaos.
My life was better before I listened to all this shit.
Embracing chaos might be the path to finding peace. I like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
I agree. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, stress is born out of arguing
Accepting
with what is.
Accepting what is. And the
like
is
it. I like
chaos because it's life. And if things are orderly and nothing's happening, you're living in a box. So yeah, embrace it, accept it. Okay, next.
No, I really did. Okay, I'll tell you this. I did like the second half of the book. Like I'm going through my notes right now and I'm saying, yeah, you know what? I really liked, chapter, whatever it is, 13.
But that's not what people want to hear.
I know.
That's not why they're listening.
She's got some good things talking about visualizing and manifestation. I really liked her chapter on creativity.
Okay, well, pick up her book, guys.
Yeah, guys, 5 stars.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying there is some good stuff. I liked her chapter about being the lie is I'm a terrible writer, and it examines the neuroses, insecurity, and self-doubt that comes along with creativity.
It's terrible. It's ferocious. I deal with it every day.
Sure, and I related to it, and again, it was nice to know that I'm not alone in it, and she offered some good ideas. Of course, what has helped her, mm-hmm. Of course. She talks about in chapter 15, she explores the lie, I will never get past this. And one thing she has also dealt with, and it's important to note, she suffers from Bell's palsy.
Right.
Which is, I don't know what kind of, it's a physical deformation of one side of your face, and it's triggered by stress. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she's gone through that.
She had vertigo,
she had vertigo.
She got sick from working too much. Her doctors, or however many she went through, it was basically you got to slow it down. So yeah, that's where she's a hot mess. Is she works all the time, but she loves what she does, so that's cool.
Yeah, and so. Girl, Stop Apologizing is just basically, I don't know, a continuation of just, challenging women to follow their heart, follow their dreams, do it even though it's hard. It's a very intense book about, going after your goals. Okay. It's less nauseating. Mm-hmm. Okay. I haven't read it all. I probably won't finish it because here we are at the Pod Plant finally doing this episode. Right. But I would say that if you are looking for a little bit of inspiration and motivation when it comes to goals, I think that's a better read. Cool. Anyway, that's my future wife. Yeah. In a nutshell.
Girl, sit on my face.
Oh, wow.
Next one. That's the next book.
That's the yeah. Wow. Well, yeah. So that'll be fun when we're rich. And we can certainly have that capital
that
to take
going to be fun.
This show to the next level. Yeah. Anyway, so that's Rachel Hollis.
Do we need to do anything else today?
I don't.
We're
yeah,
good. We're so good.
You know, it's
Do you feel purged? Do you feel lighter?
I do.
Good. Yeah.
I do. I'm happy for her. I hope she gets through the divorce okay. I'd like her to maybe just be a little kinder and gentler with her readers. And I'd like her to stop pretending that she knows everything.
Okay.
But she's cute. And yeah, God love her.
She's making it work.
She is.
She sure is.
She is. Okay. Well,
And maybe she's still a hot mess. Who knows?
oh, let's be very clear. This woman hates herself. Can we just be very clear about that right now, Fanson? You don't work out every day and drink your meals if you love yourself.
Really?
Come on.
I don't know.
You don't work like this. You don't honestly, you don't run yourself.
Sounds a little
ragged.
judgy, Susan.
Am I judging or am I
Oh, it sounds a little
observing?
judgy.
I wish she'd take a day off. I wish she had pizza with Pam.
Why don't you ask her out on a date?
Yeah.
Be like, hey, girl.
girl.
Let's go eat some pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She needs to start chewing for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
all
sure.
right. Okay. So yeah, we're tired and it's.
We're tired. This was a good one.
Oh, we had fun.
We did. So if you didn't know Rachel Hollis before you tuned in, you know her now.
You sure do. And you're Kelly Fanson.
And you're Susan Stewart.
And we're
Still a hot mess. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Purple Jade Wellness Center, for your support. Thanks also to Monkey Junk, the Juno Award-winning blues band consisting of some of the best people and musicians we know. We'd also like to thank and give a 3-minute hug, because self-help says that's more meaningful, to the Podplant and Mike Wixon.
And hey, why not subscribe or follow our show? And please, for the love of Oprah, give us a rating and review on your iPhone podcast app. And if you're into social media, you can find us on Instagram at Still a Hot Mess Podcast, and like us on Facebook at Still a Hot Mess. And thank you, Fanson.
And thank you, Susan.
You make a mess of me. You make a mess.